sound is back, it seems, and it seems we're still live here at the STC at the Sim Racing Team Challenge. This is your friendly voice Rickard von Glan coming to you after some technical problems, live from the north of Germany with me today. A bit stressed out, it's Jose, but Jose, keep a stiff upper lip and say hello to the people.
Hello, Rickard. Quite a strange introduction to the race today.
And I'm still here, but the next problem that we have is that my screen shows absolutely nothing. It was black while the sound was gone, maybe if it's related or not, and I have to rely now on, well, talking to a black screen, but never mind, I can give you some information on the outlay of the whole thing here. The first thing I have to introduce, of course, the first guy I have to introduce, second guy, oh my god, I'm completely gone. Second guy I have to introduce is Ross Balfour, who is with me for the first time today. Hi, Ross.
Hello, Rickard.
And Ross, let me tell you, it's not usually that hectic around here. Usually it's kind of a relaxed job and we do things as they come, but today it seems to be slightly off. Anyway, we're at Trois Rivieres. It's a very short circuit. It's a street circuit, as you can see on your screen. And it's in Trois Rivieres, which is in Quebec, French-speaking part of Canada. It's only 2.3 kilometers long, so that means the cars and the virtual cars take about a minute to get around the track here. I won't bother you with the lineup of the grid, because you obviously saw that on your screen. Suffice to say that it's Gubbklubbens Peter Carlsson who is leading the pack of 26 players here, and suffice to say that everybody made it to the start, everybody made it to the grid, so the technical problems were solely on our side here and had nothing to do with the server or anything else. My technical problem is my very own technical problem. Yes, Ross?
Me and Jarvis from Black Visor had to leave before the start of the race. No idea why, but unfortunately for him, but he had to leave before the race got underway.
That's very unfortunate indeed. He was in 22 after the qualification and his teammate in 24, so they were quite far down the grid, but still, leaving of course makes it even worse. And
out front is Peter Carlsson for Gubbklubbens Racing. I think it's their first pole position in their third race of the STC Black Cup 2010. He's been followed very, very closely by Mikko Korkiakoski from Flat Out Racing. And behind him is Torrent Racing's Rickard Hellsten.
yeah, and Ross jumping into the fray there for me, who's still fixed here with his black screen, and we're trying to sort that problem as the race progresses. Ross, did you have a chance to actually watch the first laps of the race and give us a quick impression that you had of these first laps? Was it clean?
Yeah, it was pretty clean. No major incidents. A couple of guys got dropped back pretty early, but I didn't see why. And there's a breakaway of about 6 or 7 drivers at the front. There's 6 guys in the leading breakaway.
Okie dokie. And among them should be pole sitter, as I said, that was Peter Carlsson. Number 2, that was Rickard Hellsten for the Torrent Motorsports. That's the red and black car you're probably following there on your screen. And the other guys who should be in that group, Mikko Korkiakoski by the Flat Out Racing, and then Rami Kaukula for the Roaring Pipes, and Barry Berg for the Flat Out Club. Ross, can you confirm that all these 5 are in the top group?
Unfortunately not. Barry Burke had an incident. I didn't see what happened, but he's down to P16.
Ooh, bad luck that. And the Maniacs, because they're title contenders as usual. And what about Motor AG, who won the last race, double win? They were down in 15 and 26 on the grid, so this track didn't really fit them very well. And any idea where they are at the moment?
P12 and P23 at the minute, so not much progress at the minute. But we'll see. We never know. They did it from further back last time, so anything's possible.
Okie dokie.
I just saw Adam Shaw from Flat Out overtake Goran Johansson around the outside at turn 1. Not sure if the broadcast picked that up, but it was a very, very good pass. I'm not sure if... Jose, did you see that?
No, I don't think so. What I see is the Rami's car has a big bump in the side.
And position number 5 is, well, they've changed back positions from they were a lap ago. There was a small contact between them coming into the last corner, but Goran Johansson from Gubbklubbens, the second Gubbklubbens car, is position number 5 with Adam Shaw right behind him. Closing in him for course on 9 is Nicola Dorigati. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong there, but these 3 are very, very close and worth watching at the minute, as the top 4 are just about a couple of seconds down the road from them. And unbelievably already the leaders are coming up the lap traffic. It's Chris File from Amy Racing and Andre from Motor AG are coming to be lapped already, so the top 4 are lapping very, very quickly. I know Peter Carlsson's fastest lap has been a 1 minute 0.7 on full racing fuel. And Cold Powers had his very, very quick lap. And you can see, Position number 1, everything has turned for the worse for Gubbklubbens. Peter Carlsson has been hit by Chris File from Amy, and he's just left the game. Carlsson is down to position number 5 with some damage, but that's very unfortunate for him. That means Rickard Hellsten for Torrent now leads the way, and Rami Bakola from Roaring Pipes Maniacs has gone up to position number 2. So very dramatic lap there. Mikko Korkiakoski. He stayed in position number 3 but got passed by Rami Karkola on 2 laps ago, but passed Peter Carlsson after his incident with lap traffic. See, behind him is the second Gubbklubbens car of Goran Johansson. He's closing in very quickly, and if you look up the inside here, no, he stays behind, and Rickard Hellsten out front is pulling away. He's got a 2-second lead on the people behind him, so there's some clean, well, apart from lap traffic, some clean track in front of him, and he can just set some fast laps and maybe pull away from the rest of the field. And we see here Mikko Korkiakoski is closing in on Rami Karkola. The gap up front is 2.6 seconds and getting bigger by the looks of it. Mikko, who won Spa, of course, from pole on the grid, and is now looking to possibly take another win. He's right up behind Rami, and he's got a 2-second gap back to Goran Johansson from Gubbklubbens. He's got a 2-second gap either way. Could have never come into the optimum corner and into the last corner here now. Rami and Mikko both full time on Rickard on that lap. They pull in 2/10, so Rickard isn't out of the woods yet. He'll still be caught, and still over an hour to go. There's everything to play for. And off our screens, Adam Shaw and Nicola Dorogati from Course Online just had a collision. There's no position change, but hopefully those two cars aren't damaged. and Rickard Hellsten for Torrent has pit in the pits. Looked like a good pit stop, and should come out in position number 9, maybe position 10. Yep, Ivan Ari from Roaring Pipes has passed, and Gregory Gutati as well. Oh no, he's pulled out in front of him, so position 11 for Hellsten. And as he pulls up, trying to pass the Ivan Ari side by side now, and he goes in behind, so he's looking to try to make the pass into the next corner. Benari defends and tries to go on the outside, but Yari's too experienced a sim racer to let that happen. Now he tries the inside in the last corner. Oh, a little bit of contact, but he's through into position number 9, and he's got 9 seconds in front of him to close in, and Yari drops down to position number 12. Rickard Hellsten just did the fastest lap of the race. That was a 1 minute 0.41. Absolutely amazing time on. Here he's in fresh tyres, so he can put the hammer down, and he's already pulled 3 seconds in on the man in front of him, David Garcia. Now you see this battle for position number 13. Leading it is Barry Burke for Flat Out Club. He started up in the top 5, but must have been in an accident earlier on in the race. And behind him is Jakob de Boer for Flying Dutchman Racing. He's in position number 14. 15th is Bob Hutchins for Black Visor, and he is looking to try to pass both of those two and move up to position number 13. As a lot of people are starting to pit. There's David Garcia and Alessandro Alizio Jeffy, both in the pits. And I think it's starting to rain, if I'm not correct. Spyberg makes a mistake and the Burr goes up the inside and up to P11 as the clouds get heavier and Berg retakes the position 11. We've already had 2 wet races this season, and by the looks of it we could have a third on our hands as the rain may start any minute now. The clouds are far darker, so we could be in for another wet race, and around these tight twisty corners it could be a very difficult race for all the drivers.
We'll check again.
I think by now we can kind of decide who's doing 2 stops and 1 stops by the look of it. The 2 leaders, Rami Fakula and Mikko Korkiakoski, both are maybe going for a 1-stop strategy. And I'm completely wrong as Korkiakoski pits from position number 2. So does former leader Peter Carlsson and Korkiakoski's flat-out teammate Adam Shaw, all going for pits. This makes Hellsten go up to position number 2, and Rami now has a 20-second gap back to Hellsten. Korkiakoski comes up in position number 3.
Yup, I'm back on the broadcast. I still have to figure out how to work the lens in the Windows 7 because the screen I have now is, you wouldn't believe it, it's about as big as a matchbox. And that's as much information as I have, but I can see we're following Barry Burke in position 18 because my eyes are still pretty good even at this day and age. And there seems to be an attacking maneuver there. And so, yep, I'm with you, Ross, and you can finally take a bit of a break and I can come to your rescue. Okay, position number 8 is
Nicola Dorigati for Course Online. He's had a pretty eventful race so far. He's followed with a 2.5 second gap back to Adam Shaw, who there was a fight for these positions last time round. It's cleared up now. There was some contact between Shaw and De Boer coming into this corner here now, and spread them out. So we're up to position number 5 now. Here's our pole sitter, Peter Carlsson. He's now down to position number 5.
Do the following, dude.
And this is Göran Johansson that you see. And having sorted another round of technical problems. The only problem I still have is that I have an echo of myself, but that seems to be my schizophrenic state of mind tonight. And Ross, thank you for bearing up there. Anything that I've missed? Who's actually leading the race?
Rami Kakola for Roaring Pipes Maniacs lead the way. Everyone else has seemed to pit. So I think he's going for a one-stop strategy.
Yep. He's a very clean racer, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Should work then. I suppose he's going to be really slow in the last bits of the stint.
Yeah, but I think he has a big enough gap, maybe to hold it, if everyone else needs to stop again as well.
Okay, and this is Mikko Korkiakoski, who is not quite the pole sitter, but who was always up there in front. There was an incident, wasn't there, Ross, that I missed?
Yep, for the battle for the lead, Peter Carlsson was hit by a lap driver and moved on to position 5. He's recovered up to position 5 again after the pit stops, and unfortunate for him, but everyone has to be in the place. he seemed to not be damaged too much, so he's still happened very quickly.
Okay, yep, I can see Carlsson here in 5, but he's already 36 seconds.
Yep, Rami hasn't stopped yet, so once he stops it'll be a bit closer. It's pretty spread out in front at the minute.
It certainly is. There is a 5-second gap between Hellsten and Korkiakoski, and then 20 seconds to Johansson. And another question to my second trusted fellow who helped me awfully tonight, sending over software email and stuff. I should say, what would I do without you? Anyway, have we done one of the famous rundowns?
Not yet. I'll let you do that as your master at them.
I'm not sure if we did or not. Really.
Well, Ross says he didn't, and you were so busy you wouldn't even have noticed, I'm sure. That was a bit of a mistake now by Rami Kaukula, so Ross, do you think his tires are shot?
Well, at the start he was pushing pretty hard, picking up the guys in soft tires, but he's lapping about 2 seconds off the pace at the minute. But he'll be pitting soon. We're nearly at halfway, so we'll see him in the pits pretty soon.
Okay, round up it is then. Jose and Ross are all set and ready. So here we go.
Yes,
Position number 1, Rami Kaukula for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, who I think for many were the clear favorites for this season. Ross, of course they were for you because you're a maniac too.
Absolutely.
Right, and as Ross said, they're on a one-stop strategy here. So Rickard Hellsten in 2. Has he been to the pits?
Yep, he was the first one in, about lap.
Okay, so he's also not on very fresh tires at the moment. He's in 2, and that brings us to number 3. Mikko Korkiakoski, ex-DHR, now flat out, or gameplay flat out.
Yes, well, I have to make say one thing about this. It's a loan, you say in English. Like he's still DHR driver, but is driving for flat out in the STC only.
Yep.
If not, the people from DHR will kill me if I don't say this. So
okay. Well,
they told me like 73 times in this period, so I can't forget.
Well, we hope to have them back one of these days. They're great racers. So we'll keep on saying he's a DHR player, but he's on the grid for flat out at the moment. And position number 4 brings us to these Swedish guys, Gubbklubben, Göran Johansson. And let me quickly give you an update on his grid position. He was in 7. Some argy-bargy going on there now, but Johansson can pass. And these are, of course, all lapped players. Position number 5, the second of the Gubbklubbens. Collision in P7 means we leave Peter Carlsson in 5. We skip number 6, Nicola Dorigatti, Corsi Online Racing, and we go to 7. And it's his teammate, Alessio Lucchesi, or Lucchesi. And Ross, who did he crash with?
Jari Vanari from Roaring Pipes. He hit into him, and then Adam Shaw hit into Lucchesi. So Vanari's been in the pits. I don't know if that's for damage or just a scheduled pit stop. I should know, but unfortunately I don't. I haven't had contact with the guys at the minute, so...
Yeah, well, it's better if they don't give you too much information, you might just give it away here on air.
Absolutely. Don't want to get the other teams an advantage.
Well, it's Lucchesi in 7 for Course Online. Great race for them, 6 and 7. And then in 8, Adam Shaw for Gameracer Flat Out Racing. Sorry, mixed up your name Flat Out half a second ago. It's Gameracer Flat Out now. In 9 then, David Garcia from Spain, your race controller extraordinary. Usually not only does the safety car, but does the briefing, does the posters, does lots of stuff. And he's on the grid and very successful. He's right now passing this arch called Porte Duplessis, which is actually the entrance to the fairground that this course is situated on in real life. And then in position number 10, the first of the Flying Dutchmen. It's Jacob de Boer. And Ross, they have some pretty good players, don't they?
Yes, some very good. Yuri Braham, who's up top 10 qualifying, has unfortunately left the game. I'm not sure why, but I think he left pretty early on. He was up in position 6 or 7, but he's not on the server anymore, unfortunately. I don't know what happened to him, but De Boer's up in P10. Oh, he's just gone on the pits there now, so his first pit.
Oh, first one. Okay, so let's leave Mr. De Boer in the pits, and we go to 11, to the first of the 2 cought brothers on the grid tonight. It's Monsieur Grégory, and he's still racing, of course, for Project D. And he passed Mr. De Boer now in the pits, which brings De Boer to 11, and Mikael Larsson, my teammate from Blue Flag Racing. And there we have him. He is in 11 at the moment. And Ross just tells me that Rami Kaukula is entering the pits now with severe damage, position number 7 or 8. And that leads us to Jari Vinari in 12 for the Maniacs. And my second teammate, Konrad Stanchak. We still have 2 cars on the grid. That's something new for us this season. I was on the grid last race and it wasn't successful. I hope you didn't watch it. Well, I hope you watched the rest of the broadcast. So Stanchak in 13 and Andreas Hultgren. Another guy you know from the STC broadcasts. My usual co-commentator. He is in 14 for the Black Rebels. Then up to 15, it's Bob Hutchins for the Black Visor Motorsports. And Ross, do I remember that correctly? It's the last Black Visor on the grid.
Yep. The other driver left before the race started.
Oh, pity that. Will Carrington for Gameracer Flat Out Club. That's the black and white version. It's the junior team. He's in 16, and he's followed by the first of the Amy racer, Mr. Ihab Abbas. And sorry, Mr. Abbas, that's probably the first name that I totally get wrong. You might contact me on Facebook and set it right. And behind Abbas, it's again De Boer out of the pits in 18 now. So let's move on to the second of the cought brothers, Ludovic, in 19. And he is followed by Motorsports AG racer, Motor AG racer, Dinka Andre. And he is pitting now. Ross, any idea whether that is the first or the second pit?
Yep. First
first stop in 20, not a good sign for Mr. Andre.
He was in a collision at the first lap, so that's why he was pretty far down with Samuel Malouche. So he's done
right.
21.
That means Malouche in 25, sorry, not 25, 21. That also goes back to lap number 1. Hellsten, Ross just tells me, we joined a lap down, and it was Hellsten who was in the pits right now, and not, what did I say? Rami Kakula?
Rami joined 11th a lap down.
And that's your rundown. First time, we're with Vincent Garcia, we're with me in the PSR TV, and we're at the top of the grid again, and it's Mikko Korkiakoski there for the Gameracer Flat Out Racing, and he is now 26 seconds in the lead, 26 seconds away from Peter Carlsson, so that looks pretty good for him. Here we have the course online teammates, Nicola Dorigatti in 4, and his teammate Alessio Lucchesi in 5, which is amazing because he was in 20 on the grid, and that is quite some move up. 15 positions. And while we're following course online here, another 1 or 2 words about the track. It's not a permanent track, if I understand that correctly. Most of the parts of the track that you see here actually have street names. We're right now, for example, on Avenue Gilles Villeneuve. And the turn that we enter now is called Stade, because there's a baseball stadium right next here. They're actually now going round a swimming pool. And the turn's called Les Forces. Ooh, and a crash there. Big one involving one of the flat out. I can't see it on my screen if it's a colored one or a black and white one. Ross, any more news on that?
I didn't see it. I was looking at the further down, but
no problem at all.
Will Carrington.
There was a flat out car involved, a Gameracer flat out car involved, but as I said, my screen is about the size of a matchbox, so no chance of me to tell you who it was. We'll come back to that sooner or later. We're now with number 5, Nicola Dorigatti, and it looks as if he's under quite some pressure by Rickard Hellsten from Torrent Motorsports. And Hellsten in the pretty banged up Doran. He was involved in quite a bad crash earlier on. And Hellsten really is putting the pressure here on Dorigatti, and he must be completely filling up his rearview mirror. And the action is still here. It's still Hellsten. And I wonder if he's going to make a move. Ross, have you played that track? Is there really a fair chance to make a move anywhere at all?
There's some, not many, but...
Give us a clue then. If you were Hellsten, where would you make your move? at the end here, at the end that's straight. I mean, there's awful bumps in this turn, in the first one. Now he's making a move on the inside. Dorigatti going just a little wide. And Hellsten, if I see it correctly, he's still behind. I think he drew back. Yep, and that's still Dorigatti in front of him. You see how close they get once they are in the brake zone here. And now Dorigatti obviously has some problem powering out of the turn. And Hellsten trying to do something on the outside here. He is still on the outside, and it might be that he just works out. No, there's Dorigatti again. And that was some really close racing. Very much in control, both of these players. And they're now coming up to what I think is a lapped car. Ross, who is it on your screen? It's one of your teammates, isn't it? Or is it a Flying Dutchman?
I think it's RPM car.
Ooh, and a spin there. That was. It's the big night of the technical problems. We now have a microphone problem with Mr. Balfour, but he's trying to fix it. Ross, lots of tape is what I say. Anyway, Hellsten still following Nicolas Dorigatti, and Hellsten still in 6, Dorigatti in 5, and the difference between them is absolutely negligible. And they are being followed by Adam Shaw for Gameracer Flat Out Racing, so that's also a fight position. So we have 5, 6, 7 here. And the car in front is obviously a lapped one. And Dorigatti, I think, is really doing a great job here under pressure. He is staying totally cool, because as you have realized following these cars here on the track, the moment you do just the slightest mistake on this course, you're just lost. And there's the attack. There is the attack by Hellsten out of the clear blue sky. When I was talking about mistakes, it seems that Dorigatti didn't take enough speed onto that long straight, and Hellsten could move past. And Hellsten now in 5, Dorigatti in 6, and that still leaves in 7 Adam Shaw for the Gameracer Flat Out Racing. And Shaw now has a fair chance, because usually you're kind of a bit flustered after a move like that. You talk to yourself, you wonder, why did that happen? What did I do? And that kind of makes you lose your concentration a little. So Adam Shaw would be well advised to make a move fairly quickly now. And you can see the traffic is thick here at Trois Rivieres, and it's really difficult, especially for the lapped players. Where do you move on a track like that? Where do you turn to the left or the right? What can you do to get out of the way of the fast ones without losing too much speed? And the fight's still on. It's still on for 6 and 7. And Dorigatti has obviously recovered. He's obviously stayed cool, way cooler than I would. Well done, Nicola. And Adam Shaw still following him, still waiting patiently for his chance. So while we're following these, let me tell you that Korkiakoski is still in the lead. And he has a 31-second gap, or a 29-second gap now to Peter Carlsson. While Alessio Lucchesi has moved into 3rd position for Course Online. And that racer there in front of Dorigatti. Jose, do you have a better view than I have? Can you actually see who that is?
No, not chance, really.
No chance, so you have the same matchbox kind of view that I have.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm habituated to it because it's how I see all the races.
Oh, you poor, poor man. Well, what we can see, Adam Shaw here across the rear view out of Dorigatti's car. And now down Avenue Gilles Villeneuve again and breaking into start. And I can tell you these bumps there are really terrible. And it's really easy to be just, you know, moved a little to the right-hand side and then you end up in the wall. And I remember last year we had a huge crash in the first lap in that turn start, didn't we? I should say. Do you remember that as well?
Yes, I don't remember the people involved, but I remember that. I also remember a good battle for the fight with one of the, I think it was one of the DMS drivers recovering from the very back of the grid to P1.
It was Enström, and he was the only one, I think, on a one-stop strategy. And now we see, talking of strategies, we see Dorigatti going into the pits, and that means finally Adam Shaw can advance and can move up. And let's hope that he can actually speed up a little, so that by the time he does his second pit stop, Dorigatti will be behind him. So Ross still fitting with his microphone. That leaves me with Mr. Korkiakoski, who now on our screen is in position number 2. That must have been a pit stop that I have missed. And is on my screen, Carlsson is in number 1 again for Gubbklubben. And sorry folks if I do sound a bit out of my league here, but I just must have missed this talking to Ross Balfour on the TeamSpeak. And Carlsson back in number 1. He's been there before. He had a really good qualification result, meaning he was in pole at the time of 58.6. And all in all, there were 13 guys under 1 minute, and 1 minute really is the thing to do here on this track. And Carlsson now in the pit as well. It seems that the second round of pit stops is up. And Ross, tell us, microphone trouble over?
Hopefully. Don't know, the sound just kept cutting out, and my voice just kept cutting out, and people couldn't hear me, but I hope it's okay again.
And there he disappears again. I'm sorry, mate. You don't really seem to have fixed it. Anyway, Carlsson's pit brings Korkiakoski back into position number 1 again, but here we are with Kaukula in position number 7. Bit of a banged up Roaring Pipes Maniacs racer there in the front. And Vinari is fighting for a position here with Nicola Dorigatti, guy we saw before for Chorus Online Racing, and he is now in 8th. And they both... No, they haven't moved up. He actually passed Vinari. And it's Adam Shaw between them. And Vinari actually goes into the pits, I think. At least he's down to 10. So Dorigatti in 8, Shaw in 7, and Rami Kaukula for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs in 6. Yeah, we're making a little impromptu rundown here because we want to catch the fight for 17 and 18. It's 9, David Garcia, still in the top 10. Pretty good show there by the man Garcia. In 10, Jari Vinari for the Maniacs. It's not the position he would like to be in. He's usually one of the top 5 finishers, but maybe he still has something up his sleeve. In position 11, Monsieur Kubati number 1. That's Grigori. Position 12, Ihab Abbas. Guy has really moved up the grid. That's brilliant. Would be the best any position by far for this season. Jacob de Boer for the Dutchman in 13. And as you can see, most of these people are actually in traffic, but not really fighting with the people around them, but more or less being lapped or having just lapped or about to be lapped. And I'm afraid there's just no way we can tell you the exact position of the cars that you see behind or just in front of the people we're following. And following we do number 14, Bob Hutchins for the Black Visors. Then 15, Andreas Hultgren for the Rebels. And again, there was a maneuver which may have been for position or not, but if I checked live timing, yes, indeed. Ludovic Kokoti of Project D is just behind Andreas Hultgren, so that maybe could have been a move position. And there we have Kokoti, but he's a bit down to Hultgren actually, so the live timing is a little bit behind. And then we move to 17, Will Carrington. And he was just now fighting with Konrad Stanchuk of the Blue Flag Racing and with Mikael Larsson of Blue Flag Racing as well, but he has pulled away a little. The last time I watched the live timing, they were all within 1 second, but now Larsson, you can see here, is down a little, and Stanchuk is following Larsson, so we have both of the Blue Flaggers here back to back. Which is a pity because Larsson was pretty good in qualifying. He was up in position 9 while Stanchuk was in 17. And watch that banged up racer there, Simon Maluish, and he spins out and he's out. He definitely decided that enough is enough, and that leaves, I think, 19 players on the grid with Konrad Stanchuk bringing up the rear. Yep, Simon Maluish out in 20.
Well, my microphone problems have been fixed. Fingers crossed doesn't go off again. But yes, there's 20 runners still in the race. Is Andre for Motor AG is a lap down and hasn't passed Maluish on the track yet, but 20 runners still going so far.
Yep, he's still listed as 21 by the game, but as you say, another lap and he will have unlapped himself on Maluish in the pits, and he will then be the last car on the grid, which is quite a change of fortunes for Motor AG. Ross, what do you put it down to? I mean, they were 1-2 in the last game, and now they're fighting for 20.
I don't know, it just depends on the track, and I think and there's been a collision. I think Adam Shaw's gone off, but he's lost position down to P8. But anyway, I'm not sure. Just depends. Sometimes you could be right at the front and sometimes like a Shack at Spa. He was down in P18, I think he made about 600 pit stops, and of course last season, of course, he fights for the front. And it just depends. Sometimes you have good races, sometimes you have bad.
Well, that's very philosophical. And here we have another guy pitting. It's Rickard Hellsten in position number 2 for Torrent Motorsports. The last time the live timing caught him, he was down 17 seconds, and now he's down 23, so he's obviously losing time to Mikko Korkiakoski. And Ross tells me it's his third stop, so either this is a strategy that I have not heard of so far, but maybe if he's on super softs. Ross, do you think you can do the super softs with only 3 stops?
Well, I haven't tested this mod quite a lot. I've been a bit busy, but from what I've tested, super softs don't last that long. I don't think he could, unless he saves his tires very, very well. I don't think he can do a stint on super softs for like 20 laps. But he's only lost 1 position, and so it'll be interesting to see if he can catch up again. But he's not that far ahead of position 4 battle.
Yeah, he does have a big gap to Peter Carlsson. That's about 15-16 seconds. But Göran Johansson, the second Gubbklubber, is only 6 seconds down. So let's see what Johansson does. Hellsten passing another lapped player here as they again go down Avenue Gilles Villeneuve. I think they'll end up with something like 90 laps, won't they?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I don't know how someone can concentrate, especially in a street circuit like this for that long. I know after about 50 minutes my brain starts to go off. I start making mistakes, but there's no idea how these top guys do it. I think that's the difference between a mid-pack runner like me and the people up front.
Yep, and all the time you're surrounded by walls. It's the special charm of these racetracks and cities, and that's something that I absolutely hate.
You hate the special charm then?
Yeah, I'm not one for. I need some breathing space. Meaning I'm not really a good player, and I'm making lots of mistakes. And these tracks, they don't allow for a single mistake, don't they?
Yeah, well, you have very bad luck at the Spa. It was no, it was Le Mans.
It certainly was, yeah. Change of position in P4, my pit spotter Ross Belfort tells me. Ross, it was Alessio Lucchesi changing positions with Göran Johansson, and that was on the track.
Yeah, those two were pretty close on track into the, I don't know the corner name, turn 3, but he just got up the inside. Johansson gave him plenty of room, so it was a fair pass. And he looks like he's pulling away, and be interesting to see if he can catch Hellsten for the final podium position. Don't think Course have online have ever got a podium before. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but it could be on for the first podium.
They've really improved their performance to last year. I think it might be down to the mod.
Yeah, pretty bad luck last year. Always seemed to have someone out, but this year looks good.
It certainly does, because they have one player in 4 and the other one in 7. That will give them a bucket load full of points. And let's not forget, Lucchesi is hunted by Johansson. He's only a second down, and you should be able to see him there following Lucchesi. Yeah, that's of course one of José's favorite shots. And you can see a left car there, a flat out. It's only a game racer, flat out. And behind, that's the blue and yellow racer of Gubbklubbens Peter Carlsson. And Lucchesi now through turn 1, round the swimming pool, and now through that amazing arch. And Ross, did you realize that actually the Le Mans cars also raced here in real life?
All of them?
Well, not the whole field, but I think the American incarnation of the, I think it was called Le Mans Series, they had a race here.
That must have been very interesting.
That's putting it mildly. I mean, imagine these huge Audis going through that Porte du Plessis, that gate that we just saw. It was a sight to see.
I doubt many passes were made in that race.
Yep, and you had the GT1, the GT2, you know, all the Porsches and the solar cars, and they had to be lapped, of course, continually. So the race was really quite interesting, but it must have been just awful hard work, especially for the I don't know what the fastest class is called. Is it P1 class?
Yes, exactly.
LMP1.
Yep, LMP1, and they must have a really hard time. So if you have a chance to find footage of that race somewhere on YouTube or somewhere, watch it. And also the Canadian NASCAR actually racing on this track in real life. And I mean, imagine one of these huge NASCAR cars and then imagine a whole pack of them.
It's unbelievable to think that must be no room for error. I mean, I remember someone put a video up on the forum, and there was a huge incident in the turn 1 on the last lap. I can't remember who. I think it was Canadian NASCAR, but very tight racing.
Yeah, one of the tightest ever. I think it was EHUB from Any Racing who put that clip up.
Yeah,
it was
speaking of him,
really
he's in the pits. He just came out of the pits there.
And while we're talking, it's Konrad Stanchak for the Blue Flag Racing on your screen. And he's in 19, and that's the second to last player still on the grid. Mikael Larsen for the Blue Flag in 18, Will Carrington in 17 for Gameracer Flat Out Club. And notice how all of these players here have rather banged up Dorans. So each of them have kissed these walls a couple of times. It's Ludovic Kogodi for the Project D in 16, going through that arch again. And especially here, I'm just so afraid of hitting the apex because that apex is solid. Ihab Abbas, we just talked about him right now. He's in 15. And Andreas Hultgren in 14. Well done, Andreas, so far. Still on the track, still racing hard. And he is down 3 laps to the leader. De Boer in 13 for the Flying Dutchman Racing. And we just, not just, but a moment ago we heard from Ross that Yuri Braham, the second of the Flying Dutchman, had to leave the race earlier on. And Bob Hutchins, another lonely player out there, he's racing for the Black Visors, and again the second player had to leave. That was just as we were entering the track. Grigori Kogoti in 11. So he might end up with a top 10 finish. However, if you look at the names of the guys in the top 10, fat chance. Jari Vinari in 10.
He's very
David
close to
Garcia in 9.
He's only a couple of seconds off Vinari. He's been putting him under pressure the last few laps, so he maybe could make an overtake in the next few laps. And there's only 10 minutes to go, so he can make a pass. I think there's about 10 or 11 laps left to run.
Okay. And while we're in P10 with Jari Vinari, the second of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs racers has just been passed, and he's been passed again. He's down from 6 to 8. In 9 we have David Garcia. Seems to be stuck to that position, but way better than being stuck to 19. And in 8, that's Kaukula. We've just been talking about him, and you can see the guys who passed him. Adam Shaw is right in front of his nose. That's the Gameracer Flat Out Racer in the colorful car. Kaukula very close behind him, but I think he's losing some seconds here. I think he can't really keep up with the space. Sorry, not the space, but the pace.
Yeah, I think he was in a collision earlier. I didn't see what happened, but he dropped from P1 to P8 without even pitting. So I think he's in a big crash. Not sure if it was on his own or with another person. But ever since that, his races seem to have gone pretty downhill. Could have been in for a top 5 position maybe, but instead he's down in position 8, which is disappointing for him and of course our team, well, Roaring Pipes Maniacs.
It certainly is. I mean, both Kaukula and Vinari are usually the kind of players you'd find in the top 5, and they're in 8 and 10 now. I mean, that's solid points, but not what you expected.
Yeah, no, still better than at the NF. Still better than we keep these positions and not trying to push too hard and end up in the wall with 0 points. So it's not great, but it's not. There's still a long way to go in the championship, and still all to play for.
Yeah, talking about not so long to go, at least on my watch, it's another 6 minutes to go. Talking of 6, here is Nicola Dorigatti, who passed Kaukula and who passed Shaw, and he is still followed by Shaw. Ross just corrected me, 8 minutes to go. That means 2 laps more in this place. Number 5, Gubbklubbens racer Göran Johansson. And the Gubbklubben players are also having a fantastic night tonight. Carlsson in 2, Johansson in 5. That'll be a lot of points for them. 29 and 22 comes up to 51. We're back with Garcia in 9 because he is being attacked by Jari Vinari, I think, if I get Ross right. Ross, no. Vinari on the prowl?
No, the opposite, unfortunately. Vinari's under a lot of pressure from Gotti. Project D, he's only about a second behind, and I think Vinari's tires are pretty shattered by the looks of it. Bugotti's taking much tighter lines, so looks like
gives a completely new meaning to the writing we see on your background there. I drive like a maniac because I am one. I think what Jari thinks at the moment is I drive like a maniac because my suspension is completely banged up.
Yeah, I think that can be said for both of our cars at the minute. They're looking pretty destroyed. I think they've got competition for the worst looking car. Well, not the skin, obviously, it's brilliant, but damage wise, I think we could be a chance of winning.
Yup. And mind you, that player behind Kogoti is either a lap up or a lap down. He's not for position. So Vinari Kogoti, that's for position 10. Sorry, Ross?
That's Ihabaras. He's a lap down, position 15.
Yep. But he can follow easily, so that just goes to show how banged up Vinari's ride is. Ahab is a lap down in... sorry, Abbas is a lap down in 15, and he's in that weird position now where the game really plays a trick on you, because if he overtakes these guys, Ross, tell us what will happen.
He'll unfortunately get a blue flag. I think Abbas pitted about 15 minutes ago, so his tyres are pretty fresh compared to the guys in front of him, but unfortunately he can't make a pass, or else he'll have blue flags unless he can pull away very quickly. But it's a bad position to be in, but he doesn't. The next person up the road is Andreas Hultgren, who's only about 5 seconds up the road, so it's pretty frustrating for Abbas, I suppose.
It certainly is.
Yes, but he can overtake because he won't take penalty if he ignores the blue flags. I mean,
well, you get a disqualification after the third one, don't you?
You get a drive
no.
Oh, you get a drive-through.
No, not in STC. We don't have blue flag penalties. I mean, we have blue flag penalties, but we update them in the war system after checking the incident. But let's say in the simulator, we don't have blue flag penalties to avoid these kind of problems. We suffered a lot before, so we removed the...
Somebody quickly get Mr. Abbas on the line. If he's in Skype with somebody or anything, phone him. He can pass.
I think he should know. You should know, Rickard.
Well, it just goes to show you what people should know and what they actually know.
Yeah, I think he's going to overtake Cought here.
Somebody has certainly been on the phone.
Yep, he's overtaken.
There he moves past cought.
This should be pretty frustrating now.
Second, this should be pretty quick now. The wonders of modern technology. Yep, he's making a move now, and
yes, suddenly
that maniac will be so surprised.
If somebody call him. Do you think he was there for long? Then suddenly we say that, and then he overtakes.
He must be listening to us.
Yep. And Finari, whatever problems with his suspension, he's keeping up fine. He can keep Mr. cought at bay, and it's only 3 minutes to go, isn't it, Ross?
2.5 to go. Well, probably 3 by the time we need to do one more lap when the time goes 0. It's when they cross the line, so around 3 minutes to go.
I think it's about time we should move back to the top so we catch actually the winner of the race as he crosses the finish line. Much as we'd love to show you this battle here because it is so close.
I'll keep you all up to date on what happens. I'll watch that battle while the broadcast goes to the leaders. So if anything happens, I'll let you know.
Ross just tells me he'll keep us updated on that battle if anything important happens, so we can move to position number 9, which should still be my friend David Garcia. There he is, yellow racer TBR, nice lady at the front. Rami Kokuda, still an 8.
Abbas has passed Finari and Cought, so he can pull away now.
Thank you, Ross. And in front of Kokuda, it's Adam Shaw in 7, 6 seconds away. There he is. And he will get some good points for the Gameracer flat out. They have 1 player in 1, 1 player in 7, that sort of points. As course racing, they have number 6 here for Nicola Dorigatti and number 4 for Alessio Lucchesi. But before we move to Lucchesi, we have to talk about the Gubbklubbens racers. they have Göran Johansson in 5. Amazing performance. And very steady. And he's 9 seconds down to Lucchesi in 4. There he is. And that virtual car still looks pretty intact. Bit of damage on the front left, if I see that correctly. But none of these big dents, either on the left or on the right-hand side. And then in 3, it's Rickard Hellsten for Torrent Motorsports. Pity he's alone for the team on the grid, because we saw Simon Maluish packing in after various incidents. So Hellsten, the sole survivor Torrent Motorsports player. It's not quite a home race for them. We're in Canada, not the United States, but we're getting closer. And Ross just tells me the race has finished, and there we have Mikko Korkiakoski. So congratulations to Gameracer flat out. They win, Mikko Korkiakoski, and this is the second win for him, isn't it, Jose?
Yep. I wonder if the time is finished or the race is finished. I think Mikko has to cross the line still, or?
Oh, he still has to cross line.
Oh, it's finished. Okay.
Thank you, Ross, for keeping us updated. So Korkiakoski wins. Gubbklubben. That's Peter Carlsson in 2. And already now the standings are completely mixed up. But Hellsten in 3. And then the course online player, I think that was Lucchesi in 4, Göran Johansson in 5, so that's your top 5 players. Right, Jose, time for the anthem, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, Kat. Time in honor of Gameracer Flat Club Racing. Sorry. Oh my God, what a day!
That name change really keeps us on edge. And thus endeth the national anthem for Gameracer flat out. And guys, don't change your name too often. These commentators here do get it all mixed up. Anyway, race is over. That was Trois Rivieres with plenty of technical problems on our side. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast anyway. And following a good old tradition, we now have interviews with the top 3 players. And just checking on my TeamSpeak channel here. And they're all with me. So, congratulations to the winner of the race, Mikko Korkiakoski.
Thank you. Thank you.
And tell us a little bit about your race. I mean, this is one of the most dreadful tracks to race, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I bet you could see it from the broadcast, and you could definitely feel it in the cockpit. I had lots of bumps and lots of hits with other people, and it's really that difficult driving in such a tight and narrow circuit with walls close to you at all times. Guy in front of you makes a mistake, you crash into him, and that happened to me as well. At least I think 2 times, and I think the leader at one point, who was I think Peter, I think Backmarker caused him to lose the position, and sometimes it's just so difficult when people don't use the mirrors. I don't know if the guys did or not, but sometimes passing slower guys was really difficult. Not to mention the guys that are as fast as you.
Yes, and how many pits did you actually do?
2.
Well, that was just the strategy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty much what everybody in the team was thinking about doing. And well, at first actually I thought I'm gonna stop only once, but testing longer stints with the car and the tires, they would have lasted if I tried to make just one stop, but I would have lost too much time just driving with the one tires. So 2 stops was I'd say the optimal solution, and I think it showed. I really gained a lot of time just doing 2 pit stops.
Thank you very much, Mikko Korkiakoski. Let's move to, I think, 2nd positioned Peter Carlsson. Hello, Peter.
Hello.
And so we were right to pick you as the 2nd position. There was a bit of a discussion here.
Yeah, I was spinned by a backmarker when I was in the lead. But,
yeah, you led the race from the grid, and then you were spun. Did you have to do an extra pit?
No. The car was fine. But
lucky you.
Yeah. And I did 2 stops, the same as Mikko.
And you never really managed to recover the 20 or 30 seconds you lost in that spin?
No.
So, bad luck for you, but I think overall you should be happy with the team result.
Yeah, I'm overwhelmed by the result.
Alright, thank you, Peter Carlsson. Position number 2 moves us to Rickard Hellsten. Position number 3, another great result for Torrent.
Yeah, it's pretty okay, I think.
And any news about Simon? What happened to him?
Not really sure. I think he just had a bad day. Really exhausted from work and such, so it was just a bad day for him.
Alright, and we saw your car was also quite banged up, so just as Mikko, you were also involved in various bits and pieces?
Yeah, I didn't make any mistake really on my own, but the car got very banged up due to lappers and such.
Yep, and I've played on this track before. As a slow guy, it really is so difficult to gauge how fast the guys from behind are coming up, and sometimes you're also fighting for position, aren't you?
Yeah, of course, but the problem wasn't really that when we was in the straights and such, they let us by, but most of the guys spun out. Don't know how really in front of us, so.
Yeah, but that's just sheer bad luck then, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh well, too bad, but you three survived.
Yeah.
The mighty battle of Trois Rivieres. And I just, during the broadcast, asked the people, could they imagine Le Mans racers racing here in real life, which they have done. Could you imagine that? One of these huge prototypes?
No.
Not really. I think the car is way too wide for this track.
Yeah, but they did. You can actually see footage somewhere.
Oh, okay, cool.
Especially under that arch. I think that about sums up the broadcast. Jose, anything you want to add?
No, not really, Rickard. Just thank you as usual for to the people racing, and see you in the next one.
And thank you for the three guys on the podium for the interviews. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Ross for helping me today. Guy has on. And a very big thank you to Jose, because he could save my day. He sent over the software by mail and solved all my problems, and otherwise I wouldn't have been able to follow race at all. So it's goodbye from me. Next race up in a week, it's Sugo, another tight track in Japan, and this being Japan, there might be another chance of rain.
Oh no.